A calamity. Why is a record heatwave sweeping South Asia? Countries including India, Pakistan and Bangladesh have seen temperatures soar well above seasonal averages, with some areas approaching or exceeding 45 degrees C. A record-breaking, deadly heatwave sweeping South Asia has pushed temperatures to dangerous highs, disrupting daily life for hundreds of millions and raising new concerns about the vulnerability of one of the world's most densely populated regions. Countries including India, Pakistan and Bangladesh have seen temperatures soar well above seasonal averages, with some areas approaching or exceeding 45-50 degrees Celsius 113-122 degrees Fahrenheit. In Pakistan, at least 10 people were reported to have died from heat-related complications on Tuesday, according to local emergency services, while multiple deaths related to the heat have also been reported in neighbouring India. Such conditions are not entirely new in the region, as heat waves have become a regular feature of South Asia's pre-monsoon summer. However, scientists and meteorological agencies say the intensity, duration, and geographic spread of recent heat events are unprecedented. Increasingly, experts are linking these extremes to human-driven climate change, which is causing extremes in natural weather patterns. As governments scramble to respond, the crisis is exposing deep inequalities across the region, determining who bears the greatest burden and who is most able to withstand it. What is causing heat waves so early in the year? India is experiencing an unusually early and intense heat wave. Anjal Prakash, research director at the Bharti Institute of Public Policy think tank in India, told Al Jazeera. High-pressure systems dominate, trapping hot air near the surface like a dome, preventing it from rising and cooling, Prakash explained. This sinking air compresses, warms adiabatically, and blocks clouds, allowing relentless solar heating. He added that several factors relating to the climate are also contributing to the heat. Weak pre-monsoon rains and lingering El Niño-like patterns further suppress cooling, Prakash said. El Niño develops when sea surface temperatures in the eastern Pacific Ocean, particularly off the western coast of South America, become significantly warmer than usual, often alongside a falter in easterly trade winds from the Americas to Asia, according to NASA. In contrast, the La Niña climate pattern tends to have a mild cooling effect on global temperatures. The World Meteorological Organization, the United Nations Weather and Climate Agency, said El Niño conditions could potentially form as early as the period from May to July. After a period of neutral conditions at the start of the year, there is high confidence in the onset of El Niño, followed by further intensification, WMO Chief Wilfred Mufamaropia warned last month. The WMO added that while there is no evidence that climate change is increasing the frequency or intensity of El Niño events, it can worsen their impact. Which countries are most affected by the heat wave? India. The India Meteorological Department, IMD, has forecast higher than average temperatures across much of the country, warning that severe heatwave conditions in western regions and along the coast are expected this month. Heat waves are likely to be more frequent than usual along the eastern coast, in parts of the Himalayan foothills, and in the western states of Maharashtra and Gujarat, it said. There will be an increased number of heatwave conditions along the east coast states and Gujarat by about 4 to 5 days into the month of May, IMD Chief Mrityunjay Mohapatra said, adding that temperatures in some areas could rise between 3 and 5 degrees Celsius 5.4 and 9 degrees Fahrenheit above normal. In parts of northwestern and central India, temperatures have exceeded 46 C 114.8 in some areas. In Maharashtra, the cities of Atford and Aravalli recorded 46.9 C 116.4 F and 46.8 C 116.2 on April 26. Local media also reported that more than 90 of the world's hottest cities were in India on April 24. Multiple deaths have been recorded since the onset of extreme heat conditions. In the last week of April, 2 school teachers died of heat stroke, and 4 other people were reported to have died in the eastern state of West Bengal due to heat-related causes, Indian media outlets reported. Pakistan, India's western neighbor, is also facing a heatwave crisis, with authorities warning it could last several days. On Saturday, The Pakistan Meteorological Department (PMD) forecast continued heatwave conditions across the central and upper parts of the province of Sindh and urged citizens to avoid exposure to direct sunlight during the daytime and remain hydrated. In Karachi, the country's most populated city, temperatures reached 44°C 111 F on Monday this week, the highest recorded there since 2018, according to the PMD. At least 10 people were reported to have died on Tuesday, local emergency services said, when the extreme heat gripped the city. Since cities of Jacobabad and Sukkur are expected to see temperatures as high as 46°C 114.8 F later this week. Bangladesh's capital, Dhaka, as well as its districts of Farigpur, Rajshahi and Padner, were particularly badly affected in mid to late April, recording temperatures between 37°C 98.6 F and 38°C 100.4 F. Temperatures have been rising in Bangladesh for some time. In 2024, authorities reported 24 heatwave days in April, the most in 75 years, with temperatures of greater than 40°C 104 F in some districts, surpassing the previous record of 23 days in 2019. What impact is the heat wave having on people in the region? Karthikeya Batoshar, research fellow at Harvard University's Middle South Asia Institute, said extreme heat affects people across multiple pathways, but that its impacts are deeply unequal. The most direct harm is physiological. Heat stress overwhelms the body's thermoregulatory capacity, leading to cardiovascular strain, kidney injury, disrupted sleep, and worsening of chronic conditions including diabetes, respiratory illness, and mental health conditions, Batoshar told Al Jazeera. The elderly, pregnant women, young children, and those with pre-existing conditions face the greatest risk. Part of the problem is structural, he said, and low-income laborers are also more likely to be exposed. Those in poorly insulated, ill-ventilated homes face higher heat stress than those with access to cooling, and are often the same people who must toil outdoors. Roughly 380 million Indians, about three-fourths of the workforce, are engaged in heat-exposed labor. Lost working hours erode piece rate and daily wages, with downstream effects on nutrition and medication access that accumulate across the heat season and are rarely attributed to heat directly. How are governments responding to the heat waves? Batoshar said India's widely praised heat preparedness model is falling short of protecting its most vulnerable populations as extreme temperatures intensify across the country. India is a pioneer in heat action plans, city-level roadmaps combining early warning systems with water provision, cooling centers, public messaging, and mandatory rest breaks, Batoshar said. These save lives, but tend to reach those already with informal systems. He warned that informal workers and daily wagers, the most exposed, fall largely outside the protections such plans are designed around, and implementation is rarely tracked or enforced. According to Batoshar, addressing the crisis requires a far broader structural response which must span every level of government and its domains: housing, urban planning, health systems, labor protections, and disaster management, he said. He stressed that health systems need expanded infrastructure, a trained workforce, and functional surveillance so that heat-related morbidity and mortality are actually counted. Long-term resilience against rising temperatures will depend on systemic reforms being implemented, he added. Building codes need to mandate passive design standards before structures are built, while labor protections must be made enforceable for informal workers. Without such changes, he warned, heat risks will continue to outpace current response efforts. Across the border in Pakistan, Islamabad-based climate expert and academic Fahad Seed has raised concerns about the country's preparedness and transparency in the face of intensifying heat waves. He pointed to historical discrepancies between official figures and on-the-ground reality,